What is going on, everybody? King V Fitness back out here, another part of the world. This time, we're reporting from Athens, Greece. And this would be country number 4 this year, and it's only July, so we're moving. The hotel I'm staying at right now is in the heart of Athens, which makes it very easily accessible for everything, whether it's the Acropolis or any of the different sites, archaeological sites that are out here. And from a different perspective, this is what the rooftop and the balcony up here looks like. That, my friends, is actually not the Acropolis, but you turn a little bit further, and there, that's the Acropolis. We're gonna go check out all these sites today at the Acropolis with my buddy Ganesh, who has been my buddy since 7th grade and probably one of my longest friends. And honestly, like, he's never seen any part of the world before other than India, because he's been grinding really hard in residency, medical school, and no better way to celebrate his graduation from residency than to see another part of the world. So let's go. I was unable to record when I was inside the museum just due to laws and regulations. However, I wanted to learn more about the inspiration from the bodybuilding aspect and where that came from the Greek mythology. So looking at the different paintings and statues that were inside the museum, I learned that all of the gods, goddesses, demigods, and even civilians were depicted to be in very great shape. And I mean very fit, athletic, with muscular definition. No matter if you were a warrior or civilian, it was all depicted that way. And even when we were growing up, we learned that all these gods were very strong too. No matter if it's Poseidon, Ares, Hades, Zeus, Athena, etc., they were all in very great shape. And we all watched 300, and in that movie itself, all the warriors were in very great physical shape too. Greece is the home of a lot of inspiration for bodybuilding, whether it's poses or whether it's even just figures and looking at the Greek gods and trying to figure out how to implement their physique into a daily lifestyle. So that's why today we're going to a gym called Holmes Place. Now, I was looking up multiple gyms here in Greece, and the reviews are not that great. The main theme for all of these reviews is that the gyms are small, there's very limited equipment, and also the gyms are sometimes very overly packed for being very small too. And for me, that's kind of shocking, considering how I always thought that in Greek culture, fitness and bodybuilding, well, not really bodybuilding, but rather, just being fit and having a physique to imitate the Greek gods was something that was common here. But upon more research, they're pretty similar like any other European country. Basically, that theme is that they're fit, they're not really like big and muscular and pack on mass, but they're fit, they're healthy, they eat healthy, and there's a lot of runners out here too. No matter where it was yesterday, all across Greece, there was a lot of people just jogging, running, or just hiking. And some of the people that we met that were hiking were just locals, and they do this because it's a nice activity for them to do. But Holmes Gym is what they compared the closest thing to something like Equinox, and everything else compares to like your local YMCA. So you can clearly see the massive cliff and differences between the top tier and then everything else. So with that being said, let's go get swolio at Holmes Gym. It's time to get some gains. Holmes Place, the Equinox of Athens. As soon as you walk in, they have their own North Face store where they have all different kinds of equipment there and high quality gear. They have their own cafe where they have prepackaged foods, their own smoothies, as well as Greek coffee. And let me tell you, Greek coffee is not to mess with. Then you take a left to the cafe and you go up these set of stairs to a weightlifting area. They have all different kinds of machines, however none of them are plate loaded. They have all different kinds of cardio equipment, as well as all different kinds of machines going from flat, incline, decline, Smith machine, dumbbells up to 100 pounds, as well as their own studio where they have Pilates and dancing. I decided to do a little chest day, so I started off with the pec deck, moved on to shoulder press, moved on to a chest press variation, and it ended with tricep pushdowns. The last stop on our trip in Athens was Cape St. Union and Temple of Poseidon. And then ultimately we started getting ready for our next journey, and that was to go to Mykonos. Alright guys, now that you've seen the Athens part of the gym, I want to show you some of the gyms here in Mykonos. Now surprisingly, Mykonos actually has, I think, some better gyms than they do in Athens. I also think it's because they kind of cater to like the foreign population and tourists more than so in Athens. There are some common themes such as small spaces and limited equipment, but you gotta do what you gotta do with what you got. So I found different kind of power gyms and stuff like that, but the one that I wanted to go to was Mykonos Performance Gym. The reason why I chose Mykonos Performance Gym was two reasons. One, the view. I'm a sucker for the views. And two, they had pretty much the equipment that I needed to hit back and by today. So they got two gyms, so I'm gonna show you the first one right now. So this is the inside part of the first part of the gym. They have, you can see all the free weights. They got dumbbells, plyometric equipment, of course my OCB bag with a nice refreshing cold water bottle. They have a couple of stationary bikes. You can see the box squats and box equipment as well as a trap bar. They have a punching bag and they have a whole entire swimming pool that's kind of infinity-like that goes all the way out. They also have a jacuzzi, but my favorite part of this is this view. It is absolutely gorgeous. Just looking right into the Aegean Sea. I also think it's Aegean Sea, but man, Game of Thrones just got in my head. So at the first part of the gym, I did some overhand rows, followed by some underhand rows before I moved on to the next part of the gym. The next part of the gym is in a higher elevation, which had a much better view of the Aegean Sea, and had the similar equipment as it did the first place as well. And this gentleman was nice enough to let me record him while I was there. So while I was here, I continued my upper body workout, and I did some lat raises, followed by some curls to hammer curls finishers. And as you can see, one of our final destinations was Namas Beach in Mykonos, which I highly recommend. And they have an amazing view of the sunset as well. But now, it's time for the food. You know, when they said that Greek food was clean, healthy, and fresh, they were not wrong at all. The most important of those three that I thought was interesting was fresh. Almost every single meal that I had when I was in Greece was fresh. And I'm talking about the hotel foods, the restaurant foods, the fries, the pasta, like the chicken, everything just tasted very clean and very fresh, very healthy. I mean, the most unhealthiest thing that I had when I was in Greece was pizza. And even that pizza tasted better than almost any pizza that I had in the United States, considering most of the food that we get here is processed and not natural. So that was a very huge shocker for me, because even the sweets at the hotels, they were very fresh and baked on the spot and made on the spot. So that was amazing. And if anybody goes to Greece, I highly recommend that you splurge on the food, because the food is highly worth it. Even this Indian food is probably one of the best Indian food I've ever had, and that's anywhere in the world. So amazing. And one thing to keep me going was that mass gainer and the pasta, amazing. And before I got to leave Mykonos, I got to see one last sunset. So thank you for watching, everybody. I highly appreciate you all. And Greece, I am sure I'll be back.